Welcome back, America. We're here with one of America's great lawyers, Gene Hamilton, who is the co-founder with Stephen Miller and president of America First Legal, one of the great liberty law firms in this country, former White House deputy counsel, and full disclosure, how many times do I have to do this? Every time Gene is on? My wife is his general counsel, okay? Mark it down and remember it forever, America. Okay, here we go. So, Gene, on this issue of immigration, I think the president has about had enough, and he's 100% right. He's dealing with all that the prior regime did. So we have over 100,000 Afghans who come into this country. It's clear that the vetting was really non-existent. And we have almost 100,000 Somalis who are mostly centered in Minneapolis. And you have this massive corruption scheme going on in that community, ripping off state and federal taxpayers to the tune of $1 billion, money that's supposed to go to autistic programs for kids and feeding kids and all the rest. The president says, that is enough. You're going to be re-vetted. We're freezing people from 19 countries. We can't vet these people coming in from some of these countries. And I have to defend the American people and the purse, the taxpayer in this country. Can that be done, and shouldn't it be done?
Yes, it can be done, it should be done, and thank God for Donald Trump. Look, the President of the United States is irritated, and he's irritated the same way that every American across this country is irritated, because, as you have rightly pointed out, for decades and decades, Americans have been failed. They have been failed by our immigration system, by politicians in D.C. who didn't care about them, about their interests. And so what happened, whether you're talking about the Somali refugee population, whether you're talking about the Afghan evacuation under the Biden administration, is a mindset that said, well, it's good enough. All we have to do is just bring people here and hope for the best. Hope to God that they're not going to do something horrid. And so they would pipe people into this country by the tens of thousands, by the hundreds of thousands, by the millions, and just say, here you go, American people, you're increasing GDP, this is helping everyone out. But in fact, that's not what the American people wanted. And so from President Trump's first term, from the first day in office, in 2017 until today, we have seen President Trump take bold leadership, bold action to exclude the admission of nationals into the United States who we don't know about. We don't know enough about them. We have no idea who they are, where they're coming from, what their records are, because, quite frankly, a lot of these countries don't even keep adequate records. That's a common sense thing. It's a common sense perspective. And yet the President Trump, was the first one to do this. He was sued repeatedly, blocked by all kinds of courts across the country until the Supreme Court affirmed his use of this power. Fast forward to today. The president, again, earlier this year, took bold action to restrict the entry of people for whom we did not have enough information about to determine that they are who they say they are and that they're not going to pose a threat to the American people. So that's on the front end. But on the back end, which is something that you just pointed out, is what happens. We had the Biden administration let hundreds of thousands and millions of people come into this country illegally or through these alternative programs called parole that they abused, and they brought people here. What are we supposed to do with them? What are the American people supposed to tolerate? Are they supposed to just shrug their shoulders and say, well, you're already here, let's just hope that you're not going to go and commit a terrorist attack? No. That is not the standard. That it's never been the standard. It's not acceptable. We have immigration laws that have been on the books for decades that can and must be used to deport people who do not love this country, who commit crimes, who commit acts of terror. And as you pointed out, we had someone, a brave National Guardsman, who was just murdered in cold blood by somebody who failed the love of America test. Because if you love America, if you love our way of life, you do not murder American soldiers.
Now, that's 100% right. And it's a monumental task the president has here to discern who is who now that they're here. Now, there are no more illegal immigrants coming into the country. He shut it down, where Biden said, I need a bipartisan legislation, I can't do this, I can't do that. President comes in, the official records say literally zero. So now he's trying to figure out, okay, we've got millions and millions of people here. I've got to figure out who they are. Now, I went and I looked. The official number is over 53 million people out of 340 million people in this country are immigrants. Now, I know that number is low. It's got to be low. But if you really think about it, almost 1 out of every 5 people in the country now is an immigrant. And we're not assimilating people into this system. And I want to talk about this with you in the next segment, because we've destroyed the institutions that are supposed to be assimilating people into this system, thanks to the Marxists and the left and the Democrat Party. So with millions and millions of people coming into the country, we don't know who they are. They're coming from countries that are enemy states, that have nothing at all in common with our country. And then on top of that, the institutions that we had built to assimilate people into our country, they've cratered. And I want to talk to you about that. We'll be right back.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.